Hello guys, it's Teenage DC Fan back in another video. And have you ever stumbled across any stories about hacked baby monitors or Ring cameras recently? Well, imagine if those monitors had lasers and kryptonite and razor sharp wings, and then you kind of got a taste of what Kara and her friends faced down with this week. But first, let's check in on the Who's Playing Whom crew. When the biolink on Andrea's next-gen Obsidian Platinum lenses fails, Lena offers a neural network she'd been developing for the Pentagon, but Andrea turns her down, afraid of jeopardizing their newly on-track friendship, which Lena is of course faking. But when Lex hears Andrea turn Lena down, he offers to help, leading to a delightful sibling exchange. So, Lex approaches Gemma Cooper at a posh restaurant, compliments her on her taste in wine, horses, and business opportunities, and suggests that Luthor Corp could be a strong ally for Obsidian North. So Gemma, in turn, exerts her mentor pull over Andrea to get her to reach out to Lena, who secretly sabotaged Andrea's tech in the first place, so that she could gain access to the massive Obsidian platform to distribute Nokur, whatever her thing is called. But while Lex, who's got his eye on immortality this week, more on that in a bit, he hopes to be Gemma's friend for a long time. And Gemma and old Leviathan lady, because that's what we call her now, they have a drink to having the Luthors right where they want them and plan their report to the Anointed One. Assuming I followed all of the plots within the plots correctly, I'm going to assign the power rankings for this roundelay of rascals as Andrea is less powerful than the Luthors. The Luthors are less powerful than Gemma and Old Lady, and Gemma and Old Lady are less powerful than the Anointed One, whoever that is. Now to the main plot of the week, which starts with karaoke flirting between Kara and William during Toto's Africa. And I like this mostly just because that's an awesome song. Plus Melissa Benoist can sing, and surprisingly, I don't know his name, but the guy that plays William can sing apparently too, so that was cool. So look, say what you want about the potential Kara-William pairing, but I will never not love seeing Melissa Benoist perform on this show. Like, if they want to do another musical crossover with The Flash, go ahead. Just do it. Or some other show. I honestly don't care. But after all that's over, William asks Kara on an official date, but is interrupted by Wynn rushing up with a super Kara. She is super. And he stammers out to her, old grandmother needs her. So then Kara rushes off, and indeed drones are attacking the DEO courtesy of the evil Wynn Toyman, who uploaded himself into the DEO system as an AI. And Wynn recognizes this code as the last thing his father was working on, and the DEO scrambles to keep Wynn Toyman from escaping the DEO's firewall and gaining access to the World Wide Web, where he could weaponize the internet against everything from hospitals to air traffic to nuclear command centers. Of course, Toyman threatens to turn all of their tech-equipped weapons on them until he's set free, so Alex orders everyone to gather all the tech and remove the smart chips while Brainy confines the AI to a server on top of the DEO power core. But amid all this chaos, a landline rings and hilariously confuses everyone because nobody uses those old phones anymore. But it's Lex who reminds Alex that the DEO has kryptonite safeguards that he won't be turning off, so Supergirl will be a wee bit hampered. And after everyone scatters to their task, Brainy gets Lex's marching orders over the phone, copy Toyman's code to allow them to beat Leviathan at their own game. Yep, there's that immortality Lex is after. Clearly dead inside Brainy agrees. But before Wynn joins Supergirl to spread out the kill code in the servers, he asks Brainy if he's got the Lex Toyman situation under control, and Brainy assures him he does. But in all honesty, he does not. So as they scan the servers, Wynn admits he's the one who came up with this AI code, which his dad swiped. Kara then admits to maybe liking William, a little bit, but she is worried about starting a relationship based on a lie. What with the Lena situation, which, to be fair, that's a good point. But suddenly, there's Wynn's dad's face on a monitor, and he apparently 80% translated his consciousness into the code when he died, and when Wynn Toyman used the Obsidian Platinum tech to upload himself, it brought Daddy Toyman online too. And he swears he's changed and offered to help against Wynn Toyman. So Kara points out that it might be worth trusting him. After all, Jean and his brother were able to make peace with one another, but Wynn just wants to smash that delete button key on both his dad and his doppelganger. Upstairs, Brainy removes the spyware Alex has on her tablet to watch for Lex shenanigans, so he can copy the code, but Alex ends up busting him. And she rightly says he's been secretive ever since his personality inhibitors were removed, but he ends up lying and says he removed the spyware so Lex wouldn't catch her using it. And I hate these secrets. Like, what do we want? Truth. When do we want it? Preferably in the next episode. And oops, another secret. The DEO has been harboring Lexosuits, which rumbled to life with the Toyman code and start attacking everybody. So, to stop it, Wynn uses Legion tech to enter the digital space, where he'll physically sort of confront the two Toymen. And then he reassures Kara, don't forget, I'm Computer Lad. Because in this episode, we find out that is his Legion call sign. No, it's not Toyman, it's Computer Lad. Whatever. So in the digital space, Wynn's father's locked out of the central room where Wynn fights his evil twin to enter the kill code. And Father Toyman reminds Wynn that physics ain't no thing in cyberspace, which frees him up to fight with the other constraints of gravity. Father Toyman tells Wynn he read up on Wynn's heroism in the DEO files and is, in a word, proud. So this convinces Wynn to release his father to fight the Toyman while Wynn finishes entering the kill code. And shaken to learn that his father really did want to help, Wynn executes the code and watches as his father blinks out of existence. Again. In the DEO command center, the Lexosuits are tearing up the place and manage to hit Supergirl with kryptonite, but they're also not too bright and concentrate their fire on a flaming office chair. But then this inspires Brainy to become the loudest, brightest target in the room. And at this point I thought, he's going to go into his true form. He's going to turn green again and have the blonde hair and the purple suit and everything. But instead, he just uncovers the lights on his chest and then cries, Leroy Jenkins. And then he just starts flipping around the room, and apparently just the lights on his chest are enough to do that. I think it would have been cool if he turned green again, but whatever. But then this allows Supergirl to have the opportunity to blow up the Lexosuits and join Alex in taking down the weaponized flying monkey toys, which were pretty cool in this episode. But in the end, Alex delivers all the kryptonite, Lexosuits, and lockdown shields from the DEO to Jean to fly into the sun. Also, she quits her job as director of the DEO and accepts Jean's offer to work with him in the tower. Now, I have questions about compensation and benefits, but I suppose they'll keep. Brainy, alas, has to stay on at the DEO to both monitor and work for Lex, and Lex ends up promoting him to director of the DEO. So having accomplished everything that we need to accomplish, Wynn prepares to head back to the future with a new codename, Toyman, which kind of doesn't make sense because it's not like he uses any toy weapons. He does computer-based stuff, but it is definitely a better name than Computer Lad, so And this mission allowed him to make peace with his past and now he's good with accepting the name Toyman. But before he leaves, he advises Kara to see where it goes with William. But when Kara approaches William at Catco the next day, he gives her a puzzle to give to her sick grandmother because his own Grammy enjoys them. So, of course, Kara's super guilty over this lie. And instead of, just telling him that she's Supergirl, which would be the smart thing to do, because, at this point, does it really matter if he knows or not? So she's guilty. And then Kara tells William she doesn't feel the same way about him and bolts. So then not only does she lie again, but then she doesn't even fix the first lie. So she's guilty about lying, but then the way she fixes it is lying to him again. So while I don't necessarily like the relationship of Kara and William, I definitely prefer Kara and Mon-El, who is actually returning in the next episode. But that's just not happening, at least not anytime soon. And that's sad. So I just want to see Kara happy, and if that's with William, then just be happy with William. But then at the end of the episode, Kara and Alex are in her apartment, and Kara frets to Alex that her relationships are doomed with deception and wonders what could have happened if she'd done things differently. Then there's a knock on the door, and we get to see our first look at Mr. Mxyzptlk, aka Thomas Lennon. And so yes, Mr. Mxyzptlk was recast for this time. So different actor from season 2. And I actually just rewatched that episode a couple days ago on Valentine's Day, actually, because that's what I do on Valentine's Day. I watch Supergirl, and I also watch a little bit of The Flash, but yeah. So Mr. Mxyzptlk is there to show her exactly what might have happened if she had done some things differently. And the reason this is happening is because next week's episode is the 100th episode of Supergirl, and that's a big deal for a show like this, because not many shows actually get to this milestone. So on all of the Arrowverse shows, they always do some kind of big thing like this. The Flash just had his 100th episode last season, and they went through time, and they saw Zoom and had a whole bunch of returning characters. So on this episode, the basic gist of it is that Mr. Mxyzptlk has showed up, and he's going to show Kara what it would be like if she had never kept the secret of being Supergirl from Lena, and see how things would be different. And it's kind of It's a Wonderful Life type story with Supergirl, and it'll be showing her whole past. We'll see the return of Agent Liberty. I don't remember his actual name, but Agent Liberty from last season. We'll be seeing the return of Rain, and then probably the most exciting one is Mon-El. Also, Win will return for this episode. So this episode he literally left, and then in the next episode he's going to be back again. And we do know that Win and Mon-El will both be there in the present. So it's not like they're just in the time travel Wonderful Life thing. They're actually there in the present. And I think it'll be really interesting to see the interaction between Mon-El and Mxyzptlk after their interactions in season 2. Plus with the whole recast thing, I'm not sure. I'm assuming it'll be explained. But I'm not sure if it'll be just another thing that's like, oh, it's like this because of Crisis, or will it be another thing like he's a fifth dimensional imp and he can just change his look whenever he wants to, and this is just how he wants to look now. But yeah, so I'm super excited for next week's episode. This was definitely a good episode, seeing Win return, but it is sad to see that Toyman, both evil versions are dead now. even though his father was in this episode, he was redeemed anyway. So this version of Toyman never fought Superman, and that basically means no version of Toyman ever fought Superman in the Arrowverse. And Toyman is a Superman villain, so that kind of doesn't make sense, and that's really disappointing. I would have liked to see one of them on the Superman and Lois show, next fall maybe. Like, at least Wynn's doppelganger would have been cool if he was still alive. He was just captured or something, and then maybe he escapes on Superman and Lois. Also, Wynn did mention a couple of his other Legionnaire teammates, like Chemical King, Lightning Lass. So it was nice to get those little references there to see who's on the team of the Legion of Superheroes in the Arrowverse. And so let me know what you think down in the comments below, specifically about Kara and her relationship. How do you feel about the whole Kara and William thing? Do you want that to happen? Or are you still on board with Caramel, Kara and Mon-El? I'm definitely still on board with Kara and Mon-El. But unfortunately, like, at some point we're going to have to accept the fact that it's just not going to happen. Like, Mon-El will be in this next episode, but after that he's gone. Like, we might see him pop up a few other times in the series, but I don't think he's ever returning to be a series regular. Especially because Chris Wood, the actor that plays Mon-El, actually just got cast as the leading role in a new TV series, so he's definitely not going to have time for this. Plus, he's been really busy lately anyway. And Wynn, him leaving again, he's not coming back. I don't know when, because Jeremy Jordan's going to be on Broadway again, just like he was before. But yeah, anyway, let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Thanks so much for watching. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and hope to see you in the next video so I can bestow all my DC knowledge upon you.